All right, welcome everyone to Growth School. I hope you're doing so well. I hope you can hear me clearly. Please let me know that you can hear me and that I'm audible enough for you to hear as we go really quick on this concept of Growth School. Thank you so much. I'm really grateful to all of the amazing people who have stayed, trusting Growth School, being here all the time, sharing a lot of the works that we do. I'm so grateful. I appreciate you guys so much. And like you can see already, we will be sharing on the concept of growth and influence. And I need you to take note that a number of the things I'll be sharing, they are not like the norms. If you're looking for just normal kind of knowledge, just average surface level kind of knowledge where they just tell you things and try to bamboozle you, then this one is not for you. But this is going to come from a depth of truth, from a depth of reality, from a depth of the things that will make you last in your journey of influence. Not something that just makes you show up once and then you're no longer there, but what will keep you staying, what will keep you attaining level and not just remaining at a mediocre level or a level where all you do is to rob yourself with what other people do or with what other people come up with, what can keep you standing and what can make you achieve tremendous results. So please, before I move on, I want to plead that you kindly copy this link and do well to share on your WhatsApp status, share on your WhatsApp group, share on all the platforms you can, and let's get as many people to come attend this growth school as possible. All right, let's get as many people as possible to come be on this growth school session. All right, let's run that and let's get it done. Okay, so I will go back on the musical break and we will be um, getting started in some sec. All right, so we getting started in some sec. All right, thank you so much. So we will be moving straight into it. leveraging the tools for growth and relevance. Leveraging the tools for growth and relevance. Um, I need you to begin to check up and begin to be on the lookout for some of the amazing people that you get to honor, that you get to appreciate, that you get to really love the phenomenal work that they do. What are the things that keep you staying or that makes you keep going back to them and again, and that makes you always delighted to want to that makes you delighted to want to sorry, please hold on. Okay, so come in, please. I want to push this to a number of people. So I want to push this to a number of people. I don't know how I missed that out. Okay, so just like I told you, I want to just also get a number of people to be here. So I want to put it on a number of groups, not groups, a number of places where people can have eyeballs because it's really important that we get as many people as possible to come attend this growth school. The need for influence and growth All right, so I'm seeing people already joining and coming in. I need to just share on some of the platforms to get people to come in here and join what is happening right now. What is happening right now? All right, guys. I will be on your faces soon. Just hold on some seconds. I want to address some technical issues. All right, so thank you very much. Thank you so much for staying by. Now, the concept of growth and relevance is very, very essential and is an ancient system that has always been there. If you look out through history, how people like Martin Luther King, how people like Adolf Hitler, how people like Nelson Mandela, how people like um, a lot of really prominent people who came out, who spoke on places, who spoke on platforms, who resonated with a kind of belief and got people to align with them. It all boiled down to influence. Okay, because how will an individual come up and say, oh, I'm going this way, and a group of people just gather and then they decide that they are following through? So, relevance, influence is not something that is new. It's not something that, oh, someone just initiated and said, oh, this is it. is something that has always been there. It's something that has always been there. If you look at how Jesus came in and became influential. He started out with coming, reading that, oh, I am this, I'm that, this is my assignment, this is what I want to do. And it got to a point where he had successful businessmen who were fishermen doing so well. He spoke to them, and then they left what they were doing and they followed him. And then he got 12 of them, got other people who were not in the close circle. And after he left, his concept still remained and got thousands and millions and billions of people choosing to follow what he led. So relevance and the concept of influence is not something that is new. It's something that has existed ancient times, ancient moments, and then it will continue to exist. Which means that if relevance and influence seem to have existed over time, there is something that made it profitable. There's something that made it consistently alive, that made people continue to have such attributes and then to live by them. Why? Because there are certain things that they knew. Okay, whether it's in the digital age or it's not in the digital age, the concept of relevance remains the same. The concept of relevance remains the same. And you will realize that the growth of the leader or the growth of the one who leads a movement, the growth of the individual who chooses to become relevant, who chooses to be impactful, who chooses to be influential, determine the scope of the number of people he can influence. The growth of an individual determines the extent and the scope of the people he can lead, which means it all boils down to starting from the point of growth and then increasing to the point of relevance. I've seen a number of people who are under pressure to become relevant. All right. So they do a lot of things. They try to push a number of things, maybe online or offline. And then they are like, oh, I just want to try what this person is saying. And then you're trying things out, but you're losing out on the foundation. And that's why there is this saying in the Bible, when the Bible is talking about a house that is being built on sand and a house that is being built on the rock. Why? Because when winds blow, the sand will always blow away with it. And then when a great wind blows, the house that is built on a sand will blow away, will just move away. But the one who is truly rooted, why? Because the rock stands, it's really solid. By the time you build on a rock, even when the wind blows, everything keeps standing. And that's why you realize that there were a lot of very influential people before COVID, pre-COVID. Many of them were relevant. Many of them were the ones they would invite. They would tell them, oh, this is a big girl. Can you just come? Can you do this? And then they were traveling. They were there. They were all of that. And during COVID, many of them could not grow in impact. Many of them could not grow in relevance. Many of them could not advance in their businesses. In fact, a lot of businesses, a lot of ideologies actually went down the drain. Why? Because the foundation was not built. And that's why I will be sharing with you some of these tools that you need. And you realize when I'm talking about tools, I won't be talking about social media, I won't be talking about Facebook, Twitter. Those are not things you will be getting. But if you have these ones, by the time you pick up the social media platforms and you choose to make use of them, you are going to become a master. You're going to become one that will last. You are going to become one that will be honored. You are going to be the one that you will not become wind out. You will not just show up at a time and then you are off the way. Now, I'm going to talk about the tools one after the other. Now, the first tool I will be talking about is philosophy. All right? Philosophy. And philosophy talks about what you know. Your philosophy is really about what you know. What is or what are the things that guide your decisions in life? If right now you see an opportunity that has what it takes to change your life, what are the things you know that will determine that you are the one that will get the opportunity? What are the things you know? What do you know? What's your philosophy of life? What's your ideology of life? What's your ideology about relevance? What's your ideology about growth? Okay, are you the kind of person that thinks that, oh, growth is not essential, let me just do things as they come, let me just go ahead and just think by impulse and then get those things done? Or there is something you know that gives an assurance to you that you can step into a room full of strangers and then you can be valued and appreciated? What do you know that will make people, that should make people trust you enough? What do you know that should make people offer their time, offer their attention, offer their money, and they should give it to you? So this is why the basis of the tool needed to grow and advance your life is in your philosophy. Philosophy. What's your philosophy of life? Now, when I talk about your philosophy, you should understand that the things you don't know can hurt you for a long time. The things you don't know can hurt you for a long time. You will see that most people are being used to drive the mission and agenda, but they never have any agenda for their lives. Consider that again. Most people are being used as the tools to drive an agenda, or they end up as victims of an agenda, but they really do not have an agenda for their life. The question is, what do you know? Because the things you don't know can end up hurting you. And this is the reason why someone can live for 70 years, can live for 80 years, but yet never determined or had an agenda for his or her life. What's the agenda for your life? What do you know about your own agenda? What are you pushing? What are you letting go out? What are you driving at that should make people choose to follow you? It's always about the philosophy. Let me tell you something that I need you to really take note. Most of the people would destroy nations, all right, who destroy nations, many a times you never see them hold the weapons to destroy people. Do you know what they do? They sell a philosophy, they sell an idea, all right, they push out something and set people in motion to drive them. Why do you want to end up as a tool of an agenda and you never want to own an agenda in your own lifetime? What do you know? What's your philosophy for life? Because the things you don't know can end up hurting you. You know, someone will sit and then you have never thought about it. What exactly was the reason for Facebook? What was the agenda behind Facebook? What was the agenda behind Instagram? What was the agenda behind TikTok? What was the agenda behind Twitter? What was the agenda behind all of those platforms? Or you only came in as a victim, or you came in as a tool and you picked up those things and you started using them without realizing that you needed to build a philosophy around it. And that's why it's difficult for many people to break out of the addiction to those things. It's difficult for them to break out of staying so saying so how do I put it now, staying true to those things, staying so loyal to those things, and yet they have lost a thinking about the agenda for their own lives. What is your philosophy for life? Is really important, because everything you do, every action you take, every step you take is driven by philosophy. Every statement you make, every time you come out and then you just said, oh, I just want to express myself, you assume that you are just expressing yourself. You assume you have a freedom of expression, but you are being driven by philosophy. You are being driven by something. That philosophy could be an experience you have had. That philosophy could be something you have been used to from your childhood. It could be something that you have always told yourself, you have always assumed about life. And you need to realize that assumption is the base level of knowledge. That you have to assume a thing means that you are so ignorant never to master those things in life. So never assume, because some people will come, oh, I thought it was this. Have you seen someone who walked on a very wrong path? Let me tell you this story. Remember a time I needed to visit a family friend, and I left, got to the destination, and I didn't want to go through the same route that I came to visit them. I thought there was another route. And then I just had, as I was leaving, she told me, just go this way. When you go, just branch by this side. And I was just assuming in my mind. And I kept going. I said, oh, maybe very soon I will get to the expressway. Oh, maybe very soon I will get to this place. And I walked minutes and minutes and minutes and minutes under the sun. What was I supposed to do as I was going? I was simply meant to ask and say, meet someone and say, oh, please, how can I get to this destination? I want to get to the expressway. Please, can you direct me and tell me how to get there? I didn't ask. I was just thinking and assuming I will figure it out. And I walked on that journey. I never knew how far I was from where I really needed to go to. So what did I do? I got to a point, I got tired. After going through that very long journey, I now met a bike man and say, oh, please, I want to go here. And then when the bike man, when I boarded that bike and the bike man was going, that was when I started realizing how far I've left where I really needed to go to. The question is, how far have you left your real destination in life? How far have you left your path in destiny? How far have you left your goal? How far have you left your vision just because you are assuming what is wrong? This is the reason why being studious about things, being deliberate about getting high value knowledge, being deliberate about getting high quality of information in an area can be a great bailout, can be a great honor, can be something that will change your life, can be something that will transform everything about you. The problem is a lot of people are living in ignorance, assuming that they know. You need to become true to yourself. You want to grow, you want to become relevant, you need to become true to yourself about the kind of knowledge that you have. You see someone that will say, oh, don't worry, I know it, let me just do this and do this and do this, and then they eat a gridlock. And this is why most people try out things and give up. Why? Because they never built on the foundation of knowledge. What is your philosophy? What are the things that guide your mind? What are the things that control you? What are the things behind the actions that you take? Remember this book by Tim LaHaye, why you act the way you do. There's a philosophy behind it. There's something that guides you. Most of you right now, the reason why sometimes someone is speaking to you very calmly and you find yourself always shouting and reacting. And then there is a time when people need to be placed on position of leadership and people do not trust you to place you there. Why? Because there's a philosophy that makes you act the way you do. You're so rash to people. You can't be gentle, you can be calm, you can speak with intelligence, you can't help people move forward, and yet you're thinking of becoming influential. People will not follow you when they don't trust you. And people would not walk with you when they don't sense that your level of growth is enough for them to submit to. So it's really important that you pay attention to the tool of philosophy. What's the philosophy of your life? Okay. And another thing you need to realize is that you will make so much of mistakes in your life. You would have too many errors in your life because of the things you do not know. Remember the story I just told you? I was making the mistake of going the wrong direction. I was just going, moving. I was thinking, oh, I'll figure it out. I'll go. Some of you may have been there. Maybe at a point where, you were just going, you were just taking action. You say, I will figure it out. I will move on. Let me even come to a very common one. All right. I'm not a relationship counselor, but a lot of people have stepped into breakfast. All right. Breakfast because of certain things they thought they knew. Have you seen someone that said, after everything happened, you just read the post and say, I thought I knew this guy, but you didn't know him. You were judging on the wrong philosophy, or you were judging on an average knowledge, or you were judging on an incomplete information. That's why your philosophy is important. The errors you keep having in your life, all right? Oh, you believe everybody is this, you believe this is this, you believe that is that. You just believe things without being studious to find it out. And that's why I love what Jim Ross said. He said, be a student, not a follower. Be a student, not a follower. You know what most people do? They follow these, they pick from this. So I love this guy, he has this number of followers, and then you follow. I like this guy, he has this number of subscribers, and then you follow. I love this, and then you keep following. But you never sit down to look out for those ideologies and say, how true is this? How true is this? How amazing is this? How does this really sound? Okay, let me bring it up. Let me begin to piece all of this statement and really see whether this is really for me. But you consume everything. Why? Because you follow, you don't study. But you know what real valuable people do? Highly relevant people do. Those who want to last in influence, those who want to grow, they begin to study. They become students. And that's why you realize that not every statement should be consumed by you, most especially when you want to go far. You need to guide your philosophy, because there are too many errors in the philosophies you absorb. And that's why you find out that you see somebody who come out and then teach you, or you went for an event and then they were asking, oh, what's the secret to your success? How did you attain this number of followers? How were you able to do it? This, and they'll tell you, don't worry, post daily, just go out, post the scripture and do all of these things. And you started, but there was no result. Why? Because you did not get the right philosophy. You were acting outside the right philosophy. And that's why you need to also vet. Sometimes you need to be truthful to yourself. With these things I believe, am I really wise or foolish? You know what some people do? You know what some people do in their half-wittedness? What they do is that they now get a lot of motivational videos or motivational audios or motivational podcasts, and they are motivating themselves in their foolishness. You know what happens? When someone who is foolish is motivated, he only increases the level of their foolishness, and then he creates an higher fool. And that's why when you realize that there is no wisdom in your business, you need to come down to invest in valuable knowledge. Thank you so much, Henry Unduka. Thank you so much. Nice to see you. Been a very long time. Okay, so you need to guard your philosophy. The philosophy of your life is very, very important. Don't look for more motivation when your philosophies are wrong. Why? Because it's only going to enhance your errors in life. Begin to figure it out. Begin to ask yourself, why do I think the way I think? Why do I do the things I do? Why do I respond the way I respond? Why do I go this way I go? Why do I act this way I act? Why do I believe these things I believe in? What are the errors in these things that have been said? And then you start improving, you start getting better, you start doing things more intelligently, and then your life becomes better. And you should realize that mediocre thinking is the reason for mediocre results. Mediocre thinking is the reason for mediocre results. If you are the kind that usually believe, oh, let me just do it anyway, you know what will always happen? Your results will be mediocre. Why? Because you do not have the mentality that everything needs to be done excellently. Everything needs to be delivered excellently. Everything needs to be delivered with royalty. Everything needs to be delivered with honor and a sense of nobility. The moment you are not aware that your service is for kings, you are going to do anything anyhow, and your outcomes will remain mediocre. You know where it starts from? Because you think that you should just get it done anyhow. So mediocre thinking is the reason for mediocre results. Now, what are the philosophies you need to have? Number one, what do you know about yourself? What knowledge do you know about yourself? What are the things you know about yourself? Right now, have you ever sat down and conducted something called a SWOT analysis? A SWOT analysis of yourself, a SWOT analysis of your life, a SWOT analysis of the person that you are. Do you know what your strengths are? Do you know what your weaknesses are? Do you know what the opportunities available to you are? Do you know what the threats around you are? Are you aware on how to enhance the power of your strength? What do you know about yourself? The things you know about yourself are the things that bring about self-awareness, self-confidence, and will free you from envy and jealousy, and will keep you staying when you step into the journey of relevance. Are you seeing how it's important? How you are aware of your philosophy? The reason why, one of the major reasons why I can't be envious or jealous of anyone, and I will stay in my lane of relevance, and I will continue to pursue growth consistently, is because I am so self-aware. I know who I am. I know the kind of person I am. I understand my area of strength. I know some of my areas of weaknesses. I'm able to pursue through and walk through and take deliberate steps in order to present myself with a uniqueness that have not been seen before. And this is the same thing you should be willing to do for yourself. This is the same thing you should be willing to commit to yourself. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? This is the same thing you should be willing to commit to yourself. What do you know about yourself? Sit down, just take some time. Um, um, Book, just get a time, maybe through a weekend, or get a night season when you are so free, and begin to sit down. What are my strengths? What are the internal advantages available to me? What are my weaknesses? What are the internal disadvantages that are there? What are the opportunities I have? What are external advantages that are there? What are the things I did not create, I did not contribute to, but they are available to offer advantage to my life? What are the traits available? If you do not sit down to do all of these things, you will decide to step into the place of influence, and something very little, something very subtle can chase you out of the way. And you will lose the confidence to stay consistent in your destiny assignment. You need to be self-aware. What do you know about yourself? Now, there's this tool that I've always spoken about. It's called 16 personalities.com. 16personalities.com. Okay, I'm going to show you the screen. It's also an amazing free personality test that you can make use of to know yourself. 16personalities.com. Let me try to share my screen so you can see what I mean. 16personalities.com. So I'm just going to show you what it looks like. So the moment you come in there, you can create an account, log in, take the test. You can take the test, and then it keeps asking you question after question. It gives you what your personality type is, tells you about some weaknesses you have, what are the career paths you should venture into, what are the things. Sorry, I have to remove this. Okay, bring this in. All right, good. So that's what it's like, 16personalities.com. Just go there, take the personality test. It asks you some questions, be very sincere with it. And at the end of the day, it's going to show you a number of things that can really, really help you, to tell you your area of strength, your weaknesses. It gives you an example of similar people who have your similar personality traits. And then this can help you build leverage. You need to have understanding of who you are. Don't just be the one that comes out every day and you allow people tell you things they think you are without you being aware of who you are. Okay, so you need to have a philosophy about who you are. Number two, you need to have a philosophy about your giftings. What do you know about your gifts? What do you know about the talents present in you? What do you know about the things within you? The philosophy of your giftings, the philosophy of your giftings, very, very essential. You need to have a philosophy in your area of giftings, the ability to get that done. Sorry, Princess Choma is asking, good evening, sir. Is it an app? I don't think they have a mobile app. Just go on your web browser, any of your web browsers, and just type 16personalities.com. Let me see if I can just type that. Let me see whether I can type that. Okay, so let me just type that. I'll type the website. So w.16. So just go to your web browser and then type this. So the moment you go to your web browser and then you type this, it's going to bring the web platform for you. And then when you get there, you can carry out that test. So at the end of the day, they will give you like a report. They will tell you your personality type, whether you're an adventurer, you're a defender, you're an observer, just different things. You're a strategist. They will bring it out for you, and then you have an idea of who you are. Then you can start exhibiting that personality in the things that you do. So that's the website. You can screenshot this and then use it later. www.16personalities.com. Okay, so you need the knowledge of who you are. You need the knowledge of your giftings. What are the gifts available to you? What are the people who dominate that industry with your gifts? How do they do it? What are the things they do with the giftings? What are the places where they present their giftings? You need a philosophy of the giftings. You need a philosophy of time. Philosophy of time. Time and chance happen to them all. For everything, there is a season and there's a time to every purpose under heaven. All right, so we are back. Welcome back. So I'm asking that you need to have understanding of what your philosophy of time, or philosophy of time, because most of the reason why people are not deliberate about making impact, the reason why they are not deliberate about doing things that matter with with their life is usually because they do not understand time. Now, there is no wealth that you desire to have in life that is not tied to time. There is no wealth that you desire to have in life that is not tied to time. Okay. Now, there are seasons and time in life where even if you have a kind of value, if you do not offer that value at the right time, no one, most times, people will not be willing to pay you no matter how important that value was in the past. Okay, so most of the wealth you need, even sometimes relevance is tied to time. Look at the number of people who actually built influence, who built a lot of relevance during COVID. Why? They took advantage of that time. People started holding virtual events, people started doing virtual stuff, people started building online businesses, people started building apps that helped creators do things better. Why? Because they understood the philosophy of time. You must understand your timing. The time cometh when no man can work. I must do the work of he that sent me while it is day. What's your philosophy of time? The problem is most people start too late. Most people start too late. Why should you be the one who is starting late? What's your philosophy of time? Also, what's your philosophy about people? What do you believe about people? When you meet people, what ideology comes to your mind? Do you see people as man or woman, boy or girl, lady or gentleman? What's your philosophy of people? When you see people, what do you understand about them? Have you ever realized the number of gifts, the number of potentials, the resources that can come out of people to you? What's your philosophy of people? If you really want to grow, you need to understand this core philosophy. You need to come with an understanding of these things. Because when your philosophy of people are wrong, you can meet the people that should bring you to the next level of relevance, and then you get to waste them. Look out, just check up on some people that when they started out and they were so humble, they could meet people at events and say, "Oh, it's nice to meet you. How you doing?" They can be very friendly, they can be very humble. And then when they grew and no longer became important to them, they started coming down. Why? Because they lost their philosophy of people. Growth and relevance requires the understanding and to know something different about people. Then number 5, what's your philosophy of work? What's your philosophy of work? So do you believe that work should only be done during the day? Do you believe that work should only be done um, when someone is looking at you, when you're being supervised, or you understand something different about work? You see work as a ministry. You see work as a blessing. What's your philosophy of work? Because nothing works except you work it. You want to grow, nothing grows except you plant. You want to become relevant, nothing grows in relevance except you work it. What's your philosophy of work? Are you the one who always sit and then you're expecting that, oh, something is going to happen, miracle is going to happen, let miracle just happen right now? And you're not aware that there are 4 things responsible for miracle happen, not just prayer and fasting. You can pray and fast, and if any of these 4 things are not present and evident, miracle will be far. You'll be praying and fasting like this, miracle will just be far away. There are 4 things that make miracles come. Number 1 is who you are, the person that you are, the kind of person that you are. Who exactly are you that makes it sure that miracle will come to you? Do you remember how Jacob stepped into the blessing? Because of who he was, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and they needed to be an Israel. And because there was a lineage that he flowed into, the miracle needed to happen. It was the house of Laban. While he was doing the things he was doing, he was being blessed by it. He was blessed in cattle, he was blessed in servants, he was blessed in goods. While he was living, he left with a lot of blessing. And then when he domiciled in a place, he dominated that place. And then he advanced and grew. He had lots of money. And then they grew into the tribes of Israel because of who you are. Do you know people that because of who they are the son of an individual? That name alone, when they step into a place, miracle happens to them because of who you are. Miracle happens, number 1, based on the person that you are. Who are you that makes you so sure and deliberate that you walk in miracle? Yes, it's amazing to sing the songs and all of that. You know, sometimes you can be so religious and you are wondering why certain blessings are far away. They are not meant to be. One of the attributes responsible for miracle happening to you is dependent on who you are. Do you remember Lazarus died? Lazarus died, and they spoke to him. Oh, our friend Lazarus is dead. Jesus said, "Don't worry," and all of that. And he got there, and while Martha was crying and all of that, and he wept, he was touched when the people cried, "This is Lazarus, he's my friend." And then he cried and said, "Lazarus, comfort, comfort my guy," because of who he was. Miracles happen because of who you are. Number 2, miracles happen because of what you have. Miracles happen because of what you have. The reason why many people are not stepping into miracle is because they are guarding, they are keeping what they have instead of letting it out and getting abundance in return. Right now, you're gifted, you can speak, you have deep knowledge that can transform life, but you're keeping it and saying, "No, I don't know how it's going to look like if I just come out and speak." And you're keeping that gift, you're hiding that gift. You're saying, "Let the gift be there. I don't want people to say it." But you are praying for a miracle. Yet, just coming out and stepping on the stage could be the reason why you will step into the next level of accomplishment. And then, boom, you see a miracle. And then, boom, you see a miracle. Remember that story? That woman who was the wife of the sons of a prophet, the prophet Elisha. And then at the time when the woman The husband died and left a lot of debt. And then the lenders came. And when the lenders came, they were like, oh, we'll take your son as bond servant. Since you guys can't give us the money, now your husband is dead. And they were threatening them. They were pushing them. They were trying to drag them. They were trying to tell them, pay, pay, pay up. And the woman got so tired. She was so she felt so undelighted about it. She felt so unhappy about it. And then she ran to Elisha. And Elisha asked her, what do you have in your house? And he said, oh, nothing except, that except that you're not willing to let out, that except you're not willing to let go, that except that you're not willing to offer may be the reason why miracle is not happening. That skill that you have, that ushering skill that you have, that organization skill that you have, that ability to moderate an event that you have, that you should have maybe volunteered and given it out for a platform and giving it out for an event and offered it to someone you're looking up to be your mentor, may be the reason why certain miracles are not happening. Do you know people who have received recommendations that change their life just by giving out a gift, like live streaming? Just going there and saying, oh, sorry, don't worry, I can do it. I would like stream your event via audio. Oh, all right, don't worry. I'm going to be like, I'm going to offer my skill to ensure that I'm going to be a moderator on that panel. And then certain people, through just doing that, they met certain connections, they met certain people, and then they got opportunities that change their life. Some got that change their life. Have you seen people, maybe even on campus, someone just willing to come out and say, oh, don't worry, I'm going to help you guys. I'll speak to lecturers. I will help you pick up these. I will help you do this. And they're like, oh, this guy's amazing. And when an opportunity came, somebody who they helped and assisted was the one who sent the opportunity to them. And then eventually the man said, oh, except that little oil. And that oil, you know what the prophet said? He said, go, borrow vessels, fill them up, and then pour the oil little by little. When there was no longer oil, he said, shut the door. And then they poured the oil little by little, and it grew in that vessel. And they went to the prophet and said, yes, now we now have it. He said, sell and then get the money and pay your debtors and use the rest. That woman walked in wealth because of what she had. What do you have that shows a guarantee that you can make a miracle in your life? What do you have that shows a guarantee that you will become relevant enough for people to follow you, for people to subscribe to your YouTube channel, for people to bring ideas to you, for people to invite you to come and speak on a live platform? What do you have? What do you have? Don't envy people when you see them, like, oh, they post on LinkedIn and like, wow, this guy spoke in this place. That's amazing. This guy traveled to that place and spoke. This guy met this person. It's about what they have. It looks like a big thing to you, but that miracle came to them because of what they have. Miracle is a subject of who you are, number one, and what you have. What do you have? What do you have inside of you? Have you ever sat down? What do I have? What are the things I've gotten inside of me that can be a blessing? Some of you right now, you watch videos on maybe TikTok or Instagram Reels on YouTube, and then you see how well people are doing their vlog, and then you're like, wow, this is so nice. And you will laugh at the end. And you just be smiling. You smile from chin to chin, and then you're just smiling and like, this is so good. And something is telling you can do this also. You go for events, you pick up your phones, you just take recordings, you go out, you do voiceovers, you bring all of those things together, and then you share knowledge, you give information. Something is saying you can do this thing. And you know that thing is inside of you. You are creative, you can bring those things out, but you're keeping it. And maybe years after, before you know it, you become 40 years old, and then there's no longer that desire to get it done. And yet you remain at the same level of relevance, at the same level of influence, and there is no ascending to a greater level. Why? Because you are not willing to offer what you have. And that's why the Bible says, there is he that have and yet giveth, and by giving out he has more. And there is that has little and withholdeth, and withholding it tendeth even to penury. Miracles will come based on the things that you have. I know what has always been said when people say, oh, what you have bring miracle is always some of those things that I said, I don't want to go into it. Give to this. Yeah, giving, very important. It is out of what you have that you give. But beyond just giving money, giving all of those things, and how it's done in most religious institutions, it's fine what you believe, but let's talk about your giftings also. You can give all of those money, hide your gifts, yet the miracle will not come, yet the relevance will not come, yet you will not be able to operate at that high level you should. And you know why you are offering it to the people you are offering it to? Because they are also giving something. All right? To he that have, more will be given to him. To him that have not, even that which he has will be taken away from him. What you have. Should I go to number 3, or we should stop there? I want to give you 4. Maybe there are more, but these 4, if you know them, whenever you pray, whenever you fast, whenever you are eager, you're doing all of those spiritual things, you will start paying attention to these 4 things, and you'll receive instructions on what to do amidst any of those 4 things. And the way you go and do them, the miracle will come. So number 1, who you are. Number 2, what you have. Number 3, who you know. Who you know. Please, I want to beg you, students of Growth School, amazing individuals, never join them, never join anybody in this world to say who you know does not matter. Who you know does not matter. It does not matter who you know. God who can bless you through anyone. Okay? Ask that person. How far? Since you have made that statement and you have believed on it, how far? What miracles have happened in your life? Who you know matters. Who you know matters. Let me tell you one truth. Who you know can become a vessel that can bring to your life the blessings of 10 years. The person you know can bring it in 10 days. Like I've learned this practically, okay, because of certain things I don't want to mention now, but very soon maybe the people who would get my email on Sunday would likely see it. Sunday or Monday, I'm not sure. Who you know matters. Never join them to say who you know does not matter. Let me give you a story. There was this time in the Bible during the time of Jesus. This man was laid down, palsy. He was so weak. He was down. He could not help himself. He was almost lifeless, and then he was so helpless. And he was there sick. Maybe he has been moved from one hospital to the other. Maybe he has been flown to India. I'm just saying in our own context. He has been flown to India. They have checked him up. Nothing could be done. He has been flown to France. He has been flown to United Kingdom. No doctor could help him. And then there was a day Jesus came into a particular house. And while he was in that house, he was preaching to the people, giving them the word, inspiring them. And you know how Jesus speaks in parable. And then he was teaching them. They were inspired. They were enjoying the teaching. And while the meeting was going on, they were enjoying it. People were speaking. And then this man had friends. Maybe there were 4 of them. And what they did, they went to the rooftop and they removed the roof. They removed the roof, removed the wood, removed all of the things that was done with the roof. And then they carried their friend with a rope and dropped him in front of Jesus. They interrupted that meeting. And while that happened, everybody was already distracted. Jesus could not continue with the teaching. Why? Because now there was an interruption to the meeting. And all Jesus needed to do was to ensure that he healed this man. And what happened? Jesus spoke to the man, laid his hand on him. No, I think he just spoke to him, and then the man was healed, and then he rose up. But how did the miracle happen? It happened because of who he knew. Because of who that sick man knew, the friends who he knew, the friends who he had were the one who brought him there. And what happened? Jesus prayed and the man was healed. Imagine if that man did not have anyone to help him. Imagine if there was nobody that could show up for him and bring him, he would have died in that sickness. Now, let me ask you this. Who are the people that are speaking for you? Who are the people that are willing to offer you the help that will change your destiny? Who are the people that you have around you that will bring answers to your long awaiting answered prayers? You see why most people don't have miracles in their life? They don't understand these things. You can pray, pass, run from pillar to post, go from one mountain to the other, and yet the miracle no go show. And yet the miracle no go show. Who you know is pivotal in bringing to your life the miracles that will change your life. Who have you insulted? Who are the people you have insulted or you have looked down on? That right now, the things you are praying about, they are the ones that are responsible for bringing the answers to your life. You see why it's not just about, we love, especially in that side in Africa, we love a lot of things around, oh, spiritual activities, bring this, do that, go there, do this, and do all of this. They are fine, they're amazing. God bless your belief. But if you don't have understanding of these things, you will just continue to attend and go to those places and do those things, but you won't see answers. You know. Who you know is an attribute that is able to bring miracles to your life. Should I mention number 4? Let me see the comments. Write in the comment if you want me to mention number 4. You want me to mention number 4? Number 4 is one really hard listener. I want to see the comments. All right. Let me see the comments. If you guys want me to say. All right. I'm seeing a lot of people want me to share. All right. So I think all right, no problem. I'm going to mention now number four thing, number 4 attributes that is responsible. Wow, Christiana, nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you're good. Thank you so much. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. All right. Okay, so number 4 is where you go. Number 4 is where you go. The the problem most times is that most people focus more on this number 4. All right, most people in Africa focus more on this number 4 and relegate the others. Most people focus more on this number 4 and relegate the others. Number 4 is where you go. We see more often a lot of people, okay, oh, this fly is going on and all of this, they go there. Oh wow, this event is happening, they go there. This, they go there. Fantastic, amazing, very, very fine. But sometimes your miracle may not come because of just number 4. Your miracle will not come because of just number 4. Now, where you go. Now, let me give you an example. You can see that each of the 4 things I've mentioned, they have biblical basis to them. Biblical basis to them. There was this story of this woman who had an issue of blood. All right? The woman had an issue of blood and she has suffered, blood always dripping out of her body. And she, imagine someone who was chubby, who was chubby and looking so fresh, so nice, and so plumpy, now becoming lean. Why? Because blood was draining out of her body. And maybe at a time she was getting pints of blood, replacing it, and before you knew it, the blood would go away again and again and again. And then she has gone to many physicians. She has gone to a physician in Europe, gone to a physicians in America, gone to a physician in Asia, gone to a physician in different places, but there was no help. Yet the blood was still dripping. The blood was still dripping. And then she was becoming lean and lean and lean. And one day, Jesus was just passing by around where she was. The woman did not say, okay, Jesus, they pass by you, make I just sit down. If him be healer, as in the past like this, I know say the healing will touch me. That's the same way some of you, maybe there's an event happening somewhere. Maybe it's happening. Let me say, for example, you are based in Abiodun, you are based in Ibadan, or you are based in Ile-Ife, or you are based in Benin, and there's an event, a life-changing event that can change your life. And you say, I beg, I know they will, I know the event is going to be posted online. I will join it virtually. And yet, it's not because you don't have the means to go. It's not because you cannot you cannot push to be there physically. But it's just a state of mind, a state of laziness of mind that just saying, I beg, even virtual and physical are the same thing. I'm telling you, it's not true. You know why? Because you cannot take away that environment into your own room. That environment will not come into your room, except it's practically impossible for you to go physically. Whenever there's an event that will change your life, one thing you have to do is pay every price possible and legit to try to be there physically. You know why? Because connections that you're going to make, the aura in the room that you will live with, you cannot get it virtually. That where you go to is able to bring a miracle in your life. I remember there was a time, I think this was 2016. 2016, they were to have Ambassador Summit, and it was the sixth edition or the fifth edition. I can't remember now. At that time, I was based in Abeokuta. I think I was just done. Maybe I was still on my master's, or I was close to my master's. Whether it was 2015 or 2016, I can't remember now. And as a result of that event and all of that, and I had a mentor who was going to speak at that event, so it was the one who shared it, and I decided to attend. I traveled all the way from Abeokuta. I left very early that day, came down to Lagos. The same thing happened when they were to hold Confab. I think it was Confab 12. I can't remember, Confab 12. I was expecting my mentor over there. I left Abeokuta, traveled all the way down to Lagos to attend that event. Now, let me talk about that Ambassador Summit. In that Ambassador Summit, when my mentor saw me, was like, oh, my brother, he shaked me and all of that. He was delighted to see me attend that event. I would not have met him physically to see, oh, this guy is being serious. He's coming when I'm speaking and all of that, and start considering me like very serious and deliberate in my life and all. And I was blessed. I met the convener of that event, Prince Joshua Yeni, now Dr. Joshua Yeni, and we took pictures. I was so inspired looking at someone doing a mega event on campus and all of that. I came for Confab also, a lot of things, doing amazing things. And I reached out to these people after the convenance, like, oh, I wanted to support. Joshua Ini invited me to his house. We spoke. He told me a lot of things about, oh, focusing on my growth, investing on myself, not just willing to do programs and all. We spoke, and I was so inspired by that event. If I connected to that event virtually, I would not have been able to build up those connections. I would not have been able to build those connections. Now I'm very close to the convener of Confab, very close to the convener of Ambassador Summit. Why? Because of a deliberate step to be at that physical event. Go back to that woman with the issue of blood. Imagine if she said, oh, I go to watch Jesus online. Oh. Ah, okay, don't pass, don't pass. Ah, Jesus come, Jesus fine. See fine Jesus. Now Jesus did this. But you know what she did? She went to that location where it was going to pass and said, if he will just pass and I will touch the hem of his garment, I'm going to be made whole. And then she did that, and Jesus felt that virtue came out of him, and that woman was healed. Where you go to is an attribute, is a key concept, is a key, or is crucial in determining the miracles that come to your life. Where you go to, where you go to, where you go to. If you go to the wrong place, you can carry problem. If you go to the right place, you can experience a miracle. There are places you just go to, and by listening to people speak, you will receive a download of ideas, a download of ideas, download of business ideas, download of networking ideas, download of relevance ideas, downloads of growth ideas. You know why? Because you went to a place. Because you went to a place. That's why you should understand that attending physical events is not just about the event itself. It's sometimes about the miracle that you are able to make by going to that place. By going to that place. There was a time, there's a place in the Bible where the Bible spoke about Saul coming into the company of prophets. Saul was a king. He had no business coming prophesying. He was meant to be a king. There was no calling on his life that he should prophesy. And the Bible says Saul came into the company of prophets and he began to prophesy. He came into a company. He did not stay in his house and then he was prophesying. He came into a company of prophets and he began to prophesy. The places you go to are crucial, in making a miracle happen in your life. This miracle can be a connection. This miracle can be meeting a business partner. This miracle could be connecting to an high-profile person. This miracle could be pitching your idea in a place. There are people who have won money. They just went for event. They didn't know they were going to call them to pitch. That was what happened in Compa 15. Okay, some ladies just came out, spoke about their business, and won. They gave her money. I think she got about 50K just like that. That miracle. If she connected online, no go happen. It no go happen. That money no go even near her. The ability to be in certain places. The ability to be in certain places. Right now, you're on growth school. You are learning these things. The people who are not here, they don't know these things. They can't be the same with you. By the time you are elevated to walk into certain levels of miracle, they'll be shocked and say, you use juju. Not everything is juju. Not everything is jazz. Not everything is maybe one baba. Not everything is tasting something. Just these four things: who you are, what you have, who you know, and where you go. Those things are what bring miracles to your life. Did you get value? Did you get value? And I still had like, that's just one tool. Though. I still have like up to 5 tools written down here. Should we continue? Or we should make it part 2? Should make it part 2? Make it part 2 next week? Should we continue? I want to get your opinion. Should we move on or should we make it part 2? I've just shared just one tool, philosophy. Your philosophy is a tool crucial for becoming relevant and for advancing in growth. Now, this growth does not have to be just influence, growth in terms of influence. It could be personal growth, business growth, financial growth, social growth, academic growth, career growth. As long as you need growth, these tools are important. Your philosophy. What's your idea about career? What's your idea about social life? What's your idea about money? What's your idea about work? What's your idea about education? A lot of these things are essential in helping you grow and advance your life. Aristos, I'm saying, you're saying we should continue. Okay, so this is what we'll do. I will just take one more, then we'll have a part 2, God willing, next week. I will check up on the time. I'll check up on the time and see if it meets up to a certain criteria, and then we'll share and let you know how it's going to go. So I'll share one more. So number 1 is philosophy. Number 2 is purpose. Number 2 tool needed for growth and relevance is purpose. Is purpose. Is purpose. Um, One reason why so many people start out with that desire and they become very eager. I want to be influential. I want to blow. You know that popular statement, I want to blow. I want to make it. I want to ensure that I get this. I want to become like a top influencer in what I do. And then after just few months, they fade out, they fizzle out. You don't even find them again. They are not even at anywhere close to the level they started with. Is usually because they gained an exposure before preparing with purpose. They gained an exposure without an idea of purpose. If you really want to last and consistently become relevant, you need to start out with an idea of purpose. You need to have a strong motivation that will keep you going, strong motivation that will drive you, strong motivation that will carry you on, a very strong reason bigger than money, bigger than the number of followers, bigger than just having many videos, bigger than just showing up and showing your face all the time, bigger than the normal or the average or the mediocre reason why people choose to start out the journey of relevance. You need a sense of purpose. You need a sense of very strong idea of purpose. You need to start out with purpose. I remembered when the idea of go to school started, it was all about, oh, I have this knowledge. I needed a place where I needed a platform where I could share it, help people become better, see people advance with purpose, with productivity, and then fulfill things with a lot of progress in their life. And then you see me practicing, coming out, doing research, and doing all of those things. Listen, if you lack the idea of purpose, whenever the rewards don't come soon, you are going to give up. You're going to give up. There were times when I would do video and maybe I would not even doing video, I would come up live and few people would just show up and I would still be as passionate as I would have been if I was standing before hundreds of people. You know why? There was a motivation in my mind. And I've been to places like, oh, this is you. I never knew. This is you. Wow, this is this and all of that. Because later on some people saw what I was doing. There was a time I was posting on Facebook, pushing out intelligent content. I was not just going there to just post something and push it and gathering likes. I wanted to help people. I wanted to inspire people. I wanted to transform the lives of people. I wanted people to see possibility. I wanted people to dig into their potentials and become better. I wanted to transform lives, and I was pushing out and pushing out. And people would be like, oh, please, can you come on our platforms and speak? I was not necessarily wanting the platforms or necessarily saying, oh, people must call me to come and speak on their platforms or invite me to become their speakers. It was all with the idea of a bigger purpose beyond that. Whenever your purpose is greater, your motivation is higher than what the average person who is doing what you are doing, you will find out that you will stay for a long time and you are going to be respected and honored in that industry, in that craft, in that idea, in that place. Purpose has to begin with everything. You know why? Because purpose was before you were. Purpose was before you were. Because the only reason you were created, the only reason why you were given that access to be formed as a fetus in your mother's womb is because there was a purpose existing that then brought you to this earth. So the same way, if you want to start the journey of relevance, you want to last for a long time, you need to start out with purpose. Martin Luther started with purpose. I have a dream that someday this nation will rise, and then the sons of the black man and the sons of the white man will be able to live together, and they will live peacefully. He had a motivation, he had a purpose at the back of his mind. Miles Morone came up from a poor background, and someday he was sit in that wooden apartment, and he was looking up, and all he had was a dream. And he said he wanted to turn followers into leaders, into agents of change. And he lived with that motivation. Even after his death, his videos are still transforming life, his books are still changing life. That's why purpose is important. Relevance happens when you have the tool of purpose. So right now you're going to live here, and the next time you want to share goals, you tie it to the purpose of your life. You tie it to the purpose that is driving you to be there. The next time you want to share something on Instagram, you want to share something on Facebook, you want to push out something on Twitter, you are connecting it and trying to look out for it. How does this come around and revolve around the purpose of my life? And that's the reason why you will no longer go on TikTok and just be shaking your buttocks and shaking your body and be trying to dance and do all of those things. Why? Because there is now a purpose that drives you. You are not moved by trends. You are moved by where you want to end. All right. My friend Ibrahim Oshedi said, it's not about what is trending, but about where it is ending. So it's not, you are not coming there to follow the trend. You are coming there to become unique. You are coming there to make a difference. So when people ask you about, that reality show right now that people are going after, you look at your purpose and say, how does the purpose and the motivation for my life tie to this? You are becoming different. You are becoming unique. You are doing things separately. You are reasoning separately. You are working separately. You are posting separately. And because of that purpose and motivation for your life, there are certain things that should not be seen to your name. There are certain comments that should not be tied to your name. There are certain posts they should not even see you commenting on. Why? Because you have a strong motivation. You can see the future and say, how does this connect to the next 20 years of my life? How will I still be proud of this in the next 10 years of my life? Why? Because purpose is now driving you, and then you are becoming relevant. Such that when you comment and people read your comment, they're like, wow, this guy is amazing. Who have been this guy? They will watch for a while, they look at you again, they look at you again, they look at you again, and like, oh, that's an amazing guy. That's an amazing guy. Why? Because purpose is driving your life. And something you need to understand is that you will never outgrow the idea of your purpose. You will never outgrow the idea of your purpose. You will never outgrow the idea of your purpose. As long as you have that purpose, as long as you're willing to work by it, your growth will not extend outside the level of your purpose. So you need to find purpose. You need to find purpose. Maybe at another time, I may really dig deep into purpose, because I started, God helping me, I started out the journey of influence, like putting up events, small group events. I really started on the concept of purpose. Purpose Hangout then 2018 to 2020. All I was doing was Purpose Hangout. Traveling to Ibadan, holding in Abeokuta, holding in Funab, holding in the Polytechnic of Ibadan, holding in Ekiti State University, traveling. All right. Holding in Ondo State. I was there in Ondo State. They held one in Port Harcourt. I was not able to attend. We had like 10 editions, starting on the concept of purpose, just going out teaching on purpose, teaching on the concept of purpose, pointing out the idea of purpose to people, relating what purpose is about, the true meaning of purpose and purpose for life, how to find your purpose, how to fulfill your purpose, how to be accomplished with purpose, a lot of things. It was in those seasons we had different concepts like purpose engagement, purpose financing, purpose relationship, purpose discovery. A lot of things, Yes, Christiana, it's not about what is trending, it's about where it is ending. Some people have followed trends that have ended them in the grave. For truth. This is not just trying to, this is not cap, right? Some people have followed trends that have ended their lives. Okay, remember there was a season and a time when there were a lot of really funny trends on TikTok then. When people want to trend, TikTok is usually their home, their abode. Okay, where some people will come, they'll be pouring oil on themselves. They said they were they were trying to follow a trending song. Some of them went into mud, and I wonder the medical conditions many of them went through just because they wanted to trend, just because they wanted to get how much, compared to what your children will say about you when they see that video in the next 15 years. It's not about what is trending, but really about where it is ending. Very, very important. Purpose is important. Always think about purpose. Always think about purpose. Before you come out, share that post. Before you come out, make that statement. Before you come out, speak on those things. Think about purpose. And this is the reason why some of you right now, you need to go back to some of the videos you have posted on TikTok. All right, look at some of them. Will I still be proud of this in the next 10 years if I am wiser than this? If the answer is no, delete it now. Before that season of announcement comes, before that season of relevance come, before that season of prominence come, before that season of influence come, and people will now be matching your current level of wisdom and the things you have posted in the past, and they are so confused. And they are so confused. Some of you need to go back to link to your Facebook, the things you posted when you were in secondary school, and you just posted them when you didn't really have plenty sense, and you go and audit and start deleting them, so that when you grow and attain very great heights, people will not be looking at your post and like, no be Christy business. We didn't say na Christy way. We think say she be big mama, she don't make am, she don't blow, she don't Christy way they always they motivate and inspire us. See this thing when she post though. So we still know to get sense like this. Sorry, if your name is Christy, I'm not talking to you. I'm just using a random example. You need to go and do an audit. The same thing, check up your social media platforms. Is there any of these things you have posted that don't match your purpose? Start removing them, delete them one after the other. Recently I was facilitating a session at the Eco Digital Skill Initiative Program at Abiodun Mustapha. And part of the things I shared while I was talking on, I think it was personal branding, or maybe digital marketing essential, is that the perception you create is always how people respond to you. The perception you create, that perception, when people see something about you and then they just have that perception, that's how they will respond to you. That's how they will react to you. That's how they will talk to you. That's how they will speak to you. That's how they will communicate to you. The way the way you dress is the way you be addressed. The same way, the way you prepare your content, the way you write those things, the way you show up, the way you do all of those things, the way you put these together is the way people will address you. The way you post certain things on your WhatsApp status is the way people will address you. Why are you angry when you post certain things and people respond to you like those who are on the street, like the street girls? Why? Because you offer the perception. Why do you think people communicate to you like a hooligan, like a child? Because there's a way you appear, there's a perception you created that this is who you are. So you should not complain when people talk to you in the way you are. That's why you need to check up on your social media platforms. You see, I'm not talking about how to post, these tools. They are the basis, they are the roots. They are the roots. When the Bible says that if the foundation be destroyed, what would the righteous do? These ones I'm giving you, they are the foundational tools. Maybe later on we'll talk about other tools that can help you move and all. But let's talk about these foundational tools. Very, very essential. Very, very essential. Have you learned something today, guys? Have you learned something today? Have you learned something today? I know you've learned something. So purpose is very, very essential. Purpose is very, very essential. And this is why one tool you need to have in your journey of relevance is purpose. It's purpose. So you find purpose. There are certain pointers to finding purpose. We have pain, we have passion, we have potential, we have people. Maybe in another series we'll do, um, maybe I'll call it a refresher course on purpose. You are going to learn a lot of things around purpose. You see some of the things you have heard by motivational speakers, motivational speakers on purpose. Since you have been using those things, since you have been hearing those things, since you have heard all of those things, have you really found, have you held on to a tangibility of purpose? You need to really have a sense of purpose. You need to live every day with a sense of purpose. You're coming out, you're stepping out, sense of purpose. You want to push out a post, you think, okay, this is a good post. They will laugh. Oh, okay. Does it connect to my purpose? Okay, it relates to my kind of purpose. Then that's when you now click on post. That's when you now click on publish. Ask yourself those questions. If I post this in right now, will I have to defend it 5 years from now? If you have to explain, when they say you go explain tire, no evidence. Nigeria is a very funny country. All right, you go explain tire, no evidence. The moment you would have to explain and explain and explain it, and you just say, 10 years from now, I'm going to need to give plenty explanation. No, just remove it, archive it first. Then maybe later on, when you retweak and then you have found out that it's fine, it will go on with your purpose, then you can push, you can publish, you can set it out. Even sometimes your videos, you want to post a video on maybe even your WhatsApp status, and you're thinking, let me just have fun, let people love it, let people like it, let people push this. Think about it. Yes, listen, I'm not saying you have to be boring, still have fun. At least on my status, sometimes I'm very jovial. Recently, if you see what I posted myself and some of my colleagues, and inside of it, I was playing the song Iron Breaker, Iron Breaker. That's it. That's it. Just it means, but that does not affect my purpose. That does not affect my motivation. I don't have to come tomorrow and start shalayeing. All right, shalayeing in quotes. Shalaye in Yoruba. Sorry for those who are not Yoruba. Shalaye means explain. All right, so I'm just using shalaye in quotes. All right, you don't have to be explaining and explaining. Why? Because you're driven by purpose. You're moving by purpose. All right. Thank you. I'm seeing people that said they've learned a lot. Christiana, thank you. Oladele Sunday, thank you so much. Learned a lot. All right. Thank you so much, guys. If you have questions now, I want to answer them. I'm willing to answer your questions. If you have questions, I'm willing to answer them. Um, that's it. You can not make a difference. Sorry, it's mute. Are you sure I'm muted? Aristos, maybe you should check because I think others can hear me. I think others can hear me. Yeah, others can hear me. So I'm not muted. I'm trying to say if you have questions. Um, so if you have questions, I'm willing to answer them. So thank you so much, guys. But hold on a sec. I remember that I shared two events last week. I also want to show you those events again. Um, some of them already now they have like the speakers, because the last time when I shared about Confab, the speakers were not there. No, I mean Ambassador Summit. So this Confab Odin, remember I told you about making miracles from where you go. So if you're in Lagos and maybe even Ogun State, this is an event you can attend. It's holding August 23rd. August 23rd. The rise of VIPs. We have Id Kebasa, we have Tayo Shineye, we have Mary Ayuba, Tayo Shiemi, sorry. We have Id Kebasa, Mary Ayuba, we have Tobe Nadozie, we have Oluwakoyi Joduatosin, and we are very conversant with Faith Church. You will know the amazing Pastor Tobe. So for those who have not registered, you can register via this link, bit.ly/confab16_. reg. Okay, so the C there is capital, the R is capital. All right, the C is capital, the R is capital. There's a second event I want to show you, which I want you to attend. Just hold on. This one is going to blow your mind. Some of you that some of you, Mr. Saka, some of you know Mr. Saka. And some of you know Mr. Saka. So Mr. Saka is going to be at the event. The First Lady of Lagos is the Ambassador Summit. Um, just hold on a sec, please. Hold on a sec. I want to download that event. So for some of you who wants to meet First Lady, Mommy First Lady of Lagos, be able to meet her. Dr. Ayogunson is going to be there. My amazing mentor will be there, will be speaking. And guys, don't be surprised. You may just see me at this event. Oh. Don't be surprised. You just see me appear. Bam. You just see me appear at the Ambassador Summit. Okay, so I want to show you this event. It's also for those who are in Lagos. Now, for Confab 16, it's holding at Pistis Orb. That's where Elevation Church uses the All for Elevator Church. Pistis Orb in Maryland. Maryland is not very far. Anywhere you are in Lagos, you can order a ride, or you can even find a way to get to I think Oshodi. From Oshodi, you see Maryland. From Onikan, you see Maryland. So anywhere you can just even check up on lara.ng. If you have the app lara.ng, just say you're going from this location to Pistis Orb. It's going to give you step by step on how to board a bus, or you can just order a ride. Now, the other one I want to show you is the Ambassador Summit 7.0. Ambassador Summit 7.0. We have an amazing line of speakers, which you will be willing to meet. We have the First Lady of Lagos, Her Excellency Dr. Mrs. Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu. She'll be there. We have Honorable Ayodele Olawande, the Federal Minister of Youth, will be there. The convener, Dr. Joshua Yini will be there. We have the Commissioner for Youth in Lagos, Honorable Mbolaji Ogunlende will be there. We have the MD CEO of First Bank will be there, Olusegun Alebi Oshu. We have the Chairman Executive Groups and Board Member of Lagos State Security Trust Fund, Dr. Ayo Gunson, will be there. We have His Royal Majesty, Oba Dr. Ibrahim Olasukomi Lawal Bello will be there. Mommy Funke Felix Adigjumo, she would also be there. All right. Mr. Tayo Ayinde, we have a lot of lineup of guests. Pastor Pojo Yemade, we have Tunde Onokoya would also be there. The Guinness World Record holder. We have a lot of lines of audience. We have Afiso Yetero, Mr. Saka will be there, and a whole host of others. And this will be taking place at Oriental Hotels, Lekki in Lagos. Lekki, Lagos. So don't say I'm in Ibadan. Look for money and attend. Okay. So the two events are free, but you have to register for them. The two events are free. You have to register for them. So do well to make it a good time with yourself to be at this event. So this is taking place in a rental hotel. You can screenshot so you can register later. So this is taking place Oriental Hotel Lagos on the 4th of September. It's a Thursday, 4th of September, 2025. Do well to attend. And also we have Confab 16, the Rise of VIPs, on the 23rd of August 2025. All right. So guys, that's it for today. Make sure you keep making impact with your life. Keep changing your life. Keep making a difference. Never stop believing. never stop positioning, and never stop working. I wish you all the best in all that you choose to do. Till I come your way again next week, keep making positive difference. Bye bye.